to my little friend.
And beauty stayed his hand.
Yes. Considerably.
Why are they coming here?
Maybe they're coming for us.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid.
Not another piece.
I beg your pardon. Show yourself!
Surprise.
What is your name?
Mega Mike the Movie Man here for you all. We have an amazing live stream tonight. If you could not tell by the title and the countdown, we're talking remakes. So any movie that has been remade is up for grabs tonight. So we're going to bring out this amazing panel to talk all these remakes. We're going to give our kind of general thoughts as we introduce everybody. And then we'll go through 5 rounds of recommendations for amazing remake movies. We'll have some honorable mentions. And then we'll have a super fun question towards the end of what movies we want to see get remade. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see everybody's thoughts on that one. But before we get into that, just a reminder, let me bring up this banner. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe if you're visiting for the first time. If you love movies, you want to support the channel, get some thank you videos, feel free to do some super chats, and then check out some memberships for exclusive reviews and other perks. And then, of course, there's tons of Collectors Club merch available through the channel. But now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and bring everybody out. We got the Horde Cholo. How we doing out there?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Versus Loco, the Horde Cholo in the building. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. And we just learned backstage we're very close to each other. I didn't even know.
Yes, extremely close, man. It's crazy. I had no idea. Like I said, I thought you were way more down south. So, yeah, we definitely got to do a meetup, man. That's awesome.
I know. Eventually, we'll do a live stream in person. We'll be on the same video.
Definitely. That would be awesome. Awesome.
So, tell me some of your thoughts on remakes here, because I know this can be a hot topic. Some people are all for them. Some people are saying, no remakes at all. How do you feel about them?
I feel like remakes can either go really good or really bad. You know, that's just the way that it is. So, I mean, there's some remakes that I absolutely love. There's some remakes that they're just so bad that it makes it's like offensive. You know what I mean? So, but it just really depends on if they can pull it off or not. You know, sometimes people pull it off and sometimes it's like, why'd you guys even do this? So it's very, very 50-50.
I know those ones that just leave a bad taste in your mouth. You're like, why? Why did we do this? All right. And then let's go ahead and bring in Dell. How we doing out there?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. So what are your thoughts on remakes?
I'm a lot like Vinicio. It's like, if they can pull it off, great. You know, some are really good. Some are really bad. As far as them just doing it, I'm okay with that, because if enough time has passed, a lot of the kids, they haven't seen all the movies that we've seen, so it's going to introduce them to it. I look at it like it's introducing it to a new generation rather than, like people say, oh, they're killing my childhood. No, I don't buy into that.
I agree.
Yeah, so sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't, and it's okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've grown up on remakes, but like you said, it helps me discover the other ones. I see the remake, right. I like it. Hey, they did an original. Let me go back and watch that one now. Right. Which, if they didn't have the remake, I may have not discovered the other one. So, good point on that.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and bring in Hard Copy Blues. How we doing out there?
Good. How are you guys? Should be a fun discussion tonight about remakes.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on remakes?
I'm for them for a lot of the reasons you guys said, because it introduces a new generation of people to the original, inevitably. The only thing is, when you get too many remakes in too short of a time span, I start to get angry at Hollywood. Like, do something freaking new, But every once in a while, if enough time has passed, I think, like Dell said, and if someone tackles it with respect and tries to make a good movie and not just do a cash grab, they're fun. Like, I mean, you have that built-in audience and that built-in interest. So if someone can come in and do it right, I'm all for a good remake.
Oh yeah, that's how I've always thought about it too. I mean, you have such a possibility of it being a good movie. It might even match the original or surpass it. We're going to talk a lot about those tonight. So I'm always, hey, if the remake's great, awesome. We got another great movie. If it's awful, doesn't hurt me too bad because then I'll just stick with the originals and never go back. So I'm never like, oh yeah, just destroyed the original for me. I can never watch the original again now. I'm like, nah, I'll try to forget about it and stick with the original.
I mean, even if a remake is terrible, like how is it honestly going to destroy the original for you? Like maybe the legacy of it, but
Yeah, if remake is that bad, you know, like Mike said, I don't bother with it, and I probably have the original behind me somewhere, so I'll just go pull that out and watch it.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with them taking a chance on it. You know, it's like, take the chance. If it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. No big loss. I feel like sometimes people think, oh, if they remake one of my favorite movies, somebody's going to stop by my house, go in, take the physical media of the old one and take it out.
Or like
you're safe.
Yeah, or like it's going to make you like the original less. Like, why would that happen? You know, it's like, just never watch that remake again.
I mean, if anything, it might make you like the original better. You're like, wow, they did a great job on that one.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look into these comments and audience. Let us know your thoughts on this too. What do you guys think of remakes in general? So let's go ahead, check this out. Oh, we got a great crowd tonight. We got Adrian James saying hello there. Hello.
What's going on?
We got Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Hey, gang. Let's get it remade. Hey, Huck is another Cali person too. See, we were just talking Huck. Cali meetup in the future. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
We got Craig saying hello to everybody. Let's see. We got AJ Roberts. Hey, guys. AJ Roberts. I don't know if I've seen your name before, but welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. And hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see. We got Jerry in the house. Always great to see Jerry. Mega Mike. All right. Let's see. Adrian says, I watched the Evil Dead remake, but I haven't seen the original.
Oh no.
Gotta see the original. Gotta do it. But they're both great. I will say that. We'll probably talk a little bit more about them today. We got the Mockbuster, The Thing, hands down. That's a very popular one as well. Double feature podcast. Hi, everyone. Hello.
Mika, Kira.
Yes, I'm okay with remakes. I love to see someone's new take on a film. Yeah, hey, get a different perspective on it, right? How are they going to tell this story? Hisham saying, what's up, everyone? Speaking about a remake movie, if the Terminator and Back to the Future would be remake starring John Cena as T-800, Tom Holland as Marty McFly, and Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Brown. Hey, I'm all for it. Hey, you're already giving away what I was going to talk about in my last question there, Hisham. But we'll get back to that one. I like how you had the cast members, though, ready to go. I didn't think that far ahead. My mom's in the chat saying hi to everyone. Got Wilkies. Wilkies is here. Hey, y'all. Craig says remakes should not be remade for 15 to 20 years. Okay. Well, how do you guys feel on that? Do you guys feel like there should be a year time limit? I know you guys said some time has passed. How much do you think is a good time? 15 to 20 years or longer?
You could do 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say like 8, 10.
I'm a little longer, maybe because I'm older. I like the 15 years about there.
15 years.
And, you know, because if you make it 10 years, it's like I just saw it to me.
Yeah. That's how I feel when they announce those Disney live action remakes, like they're doing a Moana. I'm like, didn't Moana just come out? Like, I feel like it's so fresh in my mind already.
you get remakes a lot quicker when it's from a different country of origin, too, though.
Yeah, that I understand that. A lot of people, especially us, you know, Americans who don't like subtitles, I'm fine with them, and I know most of you guys are fine with them, but a lot of people aren't. So they haven't seen those movies. So I guess I'm okay with those when they come quick.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into our first remake movie recommendation. So what are we going to recommend out to the crowd? Benicio, what do we got?
All right. So it was already kind of spoke of them in the chat. And anybody that knows me probably knows I was going to pull this one, but I go with The Thing.
Oh, look at that.
I absolutely love this movie. I've spoke on it many, many times. Just way more entertaining than the original. And, you know, I don't want to say that I don't like old movies because I really, really do. But there are some that are just so polar opposites when it comes to the action and the visuals and everything that you're seeing in this one that it's like, how can you not like this one more? You know, so I absolutely love this movie right here. It's a masterpiece. The effects are incredible. And just to the original, it's just completely boring compared to this one.
See, I've never seen the original, so I was thinking, should I go back and watch it? Because that remake is so good. It has everything. Like you said, all the practical effects, has the intrigue, great acting in there, awesome atmosphere.
Yeah.
So the original one you would say is really boring then. Much more slower pace, not as much happens, you would say?
Yeah, I would say so. It's still a decent flick. It's not that it's bad. It's just it's a lot different than the original. But Warner Brothers released that one. Warner Brothers Archive.
And then how do you guys feel on those?
Well, I love The Thing, and I know that it was a remake, but I've never seen the original. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've never seen the original, but The Thing is awesome though.
Yeah, I think the only small part I've seen is when they play it in Halloween, right? That's the one they play in Halloween on the TV. The Thing from Another World, right? That little small scene.
Yeah, I believe so, actually.
That's the only reason I know of the original. But that's a little kind of cool call out though, because then John Carpenter came back and he remade The Thing. So that's cool. All right. Yes. Vin, what do we got?
Me?
Yep.
All right.
What do we got?
I thought we were going clockwise here. All right.
So
I guess it's time,
on your toes.
I guess it's time to ruffle some feathers because I'm going to talk about a horror icon. And if I'm going to watch Leatherface, I'm going to watch him right here.
Oh, nice. Let me zoom in on that.
Give me this remake starring Jessica Biel. I think it's just a really solid horror movie. Now, I have the original here. Of course, everyone loves this one. I understand why it's a timeless piece of horror classic cinema, but I didn't grow up on it. I didn't see this movie. I didn't really sit down and focus on watching this movie until I was like 32. And I get it, but if I'm gonna watch a TCM movie, it's gonna be this one right here. So this is the first hot take of the night, I feel. Here we go. I'm going Texas Chainsaw Remake. What is this, 06?
I believe so, 06 or 07 or 08.
I'm 100% with you on that one, though, Vin. I mean, if I'm going to pick one to rewatch tonight, it's probably going to be that remake over the original.
Yeah, I mean, Leatherface he's so much more brutal and just imposing and hulking in that film, and it gets the grime and the filthiness down. I have good memories of watching that film.
Yeah, I saw the remake first on that as well. I didn't get to the original till maybe couple or few years ago. And I'm like,
and that's the same with me. That was my first experience, really. I had seen Texas Chainsaw, but never really focused on it. So the first time I really focused on a Leatherface movie was that one with Jessica Biel. And it remains my favorite to this day.
Oh, it's so good. What do you think, Venancio? Is that
I think it's a damn good remake. I think it's probably one of the best horror remakes that I feel like that doesn't surpass the original. I still personally like the original more than that one, but it's right there. It's right there because that one, man, I feel like it came out at a time that everybody's like, oh my God, they're going to remake this, and then they just blew everybody out of the way because it was an amazing remake. But I did watch the original at a very, very young age. I remember being extremely young in my room by myself watching on VHS. Almost certain parts would happen, I'd be scared, at certain parts because I'd be by myself, and that movie was just that movie's legendary to me. So I still think the original is a little bit better than that one, but that is a damn good remake. Damn good.
Yeah, and that's like 06. So you were getting a lot of like 2000s horror, like House on Haunted Hill, what's it called, House of Wax, stuff like that. But then this one snuck in there, and it didn't feel so Hollywood. Like it did feel a little bit Hollywood, but it had like a little splash of filth on there that needed to make it a good remake. So
You're right. Enough time passed, right? Texas Chainsaw, that's 70s, right? So that's a lot of time in between. Even though there were sequels, of course, it was still some breathing room. Dell, have you seen the Texas Chainsaws?
It's crazy. I've seen all but 2 Texas Chainsaw movies, The Next Generation and the remake. So I haven't seen the remake. I'm planning on binging them this October coming up, so I'm going to see it. I just haven't seen that one yet. The original I've seen a dozen times, and I love that movie. It's a great movie.
There's a sequel to that remake also called The Beginning, and that one's pretty damn good as well.
Yeah, actually, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
So I don't know
That was
how I
pretty good.
missed the original, but I have.
See,
Or
I
the
think I'm
remake of the original.
opposite. I'm opposite of you, Dell, where I've seen the original, I've seen the remake. I saw that new Netflix one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was
But I don't think I saw any of the other sequels.
I didn't hate that Netflix
I
film.
didn't hate it
A
either.
lot of people liked it. I don't know. I wasn't.
Dude, that
I was
scene on the
better.
bus was enough for
Oh, the
the
bus
price of
scene was
admission.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
That
mean,
saved it. Yeah.
for me, that was the only good scene in the movie. And I mean, if you really think about it, that's the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that's ever had a massacre in it. But everything else to me was just so stupid. I don't know. But besides that slaughter, man, I was just like, really? These little hipster kids are out here in the middle of nowhere buying this land, and then they have a party on the party bus, and it's all just a perfect setup for that massacre, which the massacre was cool, but everything else was just like, oh, eye rolling.
You can tell that that movie had money behind it, though.
It
True.
did.
Oh.
It did.
That Netflix money. Here you go.
Yeah.
200 bill
Yeah.
for whatever.
Just kinda
There
throw
you
it
go.
at people.
It's green lighted. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny though. It's funny how they'll spend so much on those streaming ones. It's like, what? Okay,
Yeah.
why not?
They must be
All
making money somehow.
Yeah.
Must be. All right, so now on to my choice here. Oh, and I love this one. I love this remake.
But you got to go
When-
Dell.
Hell.
Oh, Dell! It's Dell's turn.
Do it.
Oh my goodness. See, I should have gone in the correct way. It threw me off. All right, Dell, take it away. You got
All
it.
right. So since we're talking horror this round and we're talking hot takes, I'm gonna give both because the original, I find it slow. It's kind of boring. I mean, it's
let's
iconic.
go.
It's a classic, but I prefer the remake. It's I'm not sure if it's actually shorter, but it feels shorter. It's tighter. The pace is faster. We get a lot more happening, and I'm going with the Amityville Horror remake with Ryan Reynolds. So I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers
No,
there.
But this feels like nope.
Yep, I knew I was ruffling some feathers with that one.
Okay, I will tell you why I despise that remake. Okay,
Oh, that's a
feel like-
strong word. He said despise.
Why? That's right.
For one, barely anything happens in that movie, and two, if you're a 13-year-old girl that just wants to see Ryan Reynolds six-pack the whole entire movie, then I feel like that's the only thing you have going for you. Because
Fair on
I
the
have
second
no
part.
idea. Huh?
I said fair on the second part, but I feel like
Yeah.
nothing happens in the original though. It's like, oh my god.
But I feel like that suspense though is there, and even the get out and the flies on the guy's face, and when he's trying to bless the house, and then the blood comes out of the little thing when he's doing the blessing. All that stuff was so much more impacted than I feel like in that movie. And then at the end, what happens? Like a ghost comes and like grabs him, and he goes through the floor. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like,
Spoiler alert. I haven't seen either. Now I'm just joking. Go spoil it away. I need to see both. I haven't seen either of them.
Yeah, check them out. Check them out. See what you think.
watch part 2 of the original. That's the
Part two?
superior one out of all.
I haven't seen part 2.
It's I wouldn't say a masterpiece, but it's the best out of all those movies.
Oh,
that
look
they've
at
made.
that. That's a nice one right
Yeah,
there.
it's a nice set.
Good looking addition.
Anybody get that Vinegar Syndrome?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get that one, but that is a nice set.
This
Yeah.
is like one of the first titles they released where they were starting to put out more mainstream horror.
Yeah. I got that one, and I got the box set of the original Scream Factory one where they have part 1, 2, and 3 in it.
Yeah, they almost had me, but those Vinegar Syndrome prices, can't do it. Can't do it.
I feel like Severance prices are getting even worse, man.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't even have one Severn title because of that. I'm like, no,
I don't
can't
either.
do it.
they're so expensive now; it's ridiculous.
All right, so now on to my recommendation. I think most people will agree here. We'll see if it's a hot take, but I think by far the remake is way more entertaining, way more exciting than the original. And I've talked about this one before. You got to talk the Mummy movies, right? I mean, come on.
I agree.
The Mummy is absolutely amazing. Brendan Fraser is perfect in it, but the whole cast is fantastic. I mean, even just the person playing Jonathan does a great job in his part. But Imhotep is scary and terrifying with all the effects. And it's an entertaining movie. You got tons of stuff going on, all that action nonstop. Whereas you go to, I got the original here. Let's look at this original in this Universal box set, right? This is the one it came in. Watched it for the first time when I got this box set. Boring.
Yeah.
Snooze fest. I almost fell asleep during this one. Like nothing happens. I watched it. And I'm like, wait, what happened in this? Did anything really happen? I don't know. To me, it was the worst out of all the Universal classic monster movies I've seen so far. Just nothing happened. Am I wrong with that? Like,
No, I completely agree. I love the Universal monster movies, man. Invisible Man is awesome.
so good.
Frankenstein is awesome. Creature from the Black Lagoon is awesome. But Mummy is by far the worst one, man. The worst.
Yeah, I
Dell,
agree
have
with
you
that.
seen
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, I've seen most of them though. Yeah, I agree with that. The Mummy's not good, and especially compared to just the ones he just named. You know, those are all pretty good movies.
It's like zero rewatchability on the original Mummy. It's like, when am I ever gonna want to watch that one again? It's like watching paint dry. It's just, and like the Mummy is so good. The sequel is great. The Mummy Return. I mean, the third one not so much, but still, you know, the first two really, really good. How about you? Hard copy. Have you seen those?
I have that same set. I didn't get the 4K set. I've seen 2 or 3 of the classic Universal Monsters movies, and they're okay for me. Like they're like fun watches, but like if I want, we're going to talk about it soon with one of my pulls, but rewatchability is not super high on those for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the Mummy remake, it has you going that right away, that first scene, action, war battle scene, and it keeps going the whole time. So it's awesome. I love the Mummy. Let's see. Let's go back into the chat, see what everybody is saying here. Let's see if they think our remake choices were hot takes. Let's see.
Wait till you see my next hot take.
I know, right? Let's see. Oh, Adrian saying Back to the Future should not be remade. Leave as it is. Mockbuster says, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is fantastic. I didn't even know that one was a remake. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, Double Feature says The Thing. Great pick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Adrian saying The Thing and The Fly were great remakes. Yeah, you know The Fly's going to get mentioned tonight. Hisham saying, worst remake movie you ever seen in your life. That's a tough question. I can't even think.
Not for me. I can tell you real quick what it is.
What do you got? What's the
Fire
worst?
Starter? Fucking terrible.
That was bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm not even a big fan of the original, and it was far worse.
I couldn't finish it.
Really? See, I saw it in theaters. I went out to the theaters. A good thing I had my unlimited pass. But the remake was my first watch to it. I didn't see the original till after. So
I thought it was okay. To me,
I thought it was fine.
Horrible. It was just okay.
Yeah.
I'd say the Psycho remake, the shot for shot. That's the worst one. Yeah.
Yep. And I think The Omen too. The Omen was another one that was almost a shot for shot. That it's just like, why did you guys do this if it's going to be spot on the original?
That's another one. I had that box set from Scream Factory, and I was going through the Omen films, and I got the remake because that's included in the box set.
Yep.
And like you said, it is 100% shot for shot. And I turned it off after 15 minutes. Like, why does this exist?
Yeah.
Like we're talking remakes. Like, that's a big problem. Like, if you're gonna take a film and put it out again, do something different.
Something different. Mm-hmm. Anything. Yeah, I felt the same way with that Omen one. I was watching it through, and I'm like, why am I watching this? I feel like I just saw it when I watched the original. Why am I watching the same movie again? Let's see. Double Feature says I actually prefer the remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel. Yeah, everybody loves that one, it seems.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Craig says Fantastic Four original and Total Recall better than the remake.
Wow,
I still don't think they've got Fantastic Four right. I feel like they always mess up on that one.
Neither.
The original Total Recall is a masterpiece.
Yeah, really. I'm with you. That remake, ooh, that was tough.
Adrian says, I don't mind the RoboCop remake. I don't mind it either. Of course, I like the original better, but I don't hate the remake.
I've actually never seen that. Is it bloody like the original or
no? It's PG-13.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can tell the PG-13ness of it.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, it's okay, but it's not the original, not even close.
But Michael Keaton's great in the movie. He is good. Let's see. Hisham says John Carpenter movie was a goat. The goat. Yeah, John Carpenter's a goat. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. We got Samantha. Samantha, I think it's your first time in here. Welcome to
That's my lady.
Oh, there you go. Hey, nice to have you on the channel. The Mockbuster saying Dread is way better than the original. Yeah, maybe. They're both pretty good, actually. The original has a charm too, but the remake is quite good. I still need that Steelbook. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the remake either. I've seen the original.
Oh, the remake is good.
I'm with Mockbuster. Remake is way better.
Wow, okay. It's been, man, I remember seeing the original Judge Dredd in theater, and I think that's probably the last time I've seen that movie. So that's how long it's been. So I don't even remember.
Yeah, Judge Dredd kind of has a comedic humor to it a little bit, whereas Dredd is much more serious, action-packed, very stylized.
Yeah.
Oh, Venancio, where'd you go?
Sometimes he gets a call. There he is.
Oh, there you go.
Sideways. Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that. I got a call. My bad.
No worries, you're all good. Let's see. Okay, so let's get into our second one, right? We're on to number 2 here. So second remake movie recommendation. Venancio, you said you were going to make people mad?
I'm going to make people mad right
now. What do you got?
Okay? So, I'll just throw it out there. I like the Rob Zombie Halloween better than the original John Carpenter Halloween. I like the original. I do. But when it comes to entertainment, I love everything that happens in this movie. I love the grimy Rob Zombie feeling about it. I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie, so I feel like I love that he took the original basis of it and did his own thing with it, showing how he got fucked up, showing the gruesomeness as him as a kid. Everything. I love this remake right here, and I do personally feel like it is superior to the original. Ooh, damn!
Whoa! What is being said here? What is this?
Nice.
Look, I binged the whole franchise last year from beginning to end, and when I got through, I actually did a video ranking them, and I ranked Rob Zombie's Halloween at the top.
Hell yeah!
Wow.
Now, on the other hand, I ranked his Halloween 2 at the bottom, but we're not talking about that one.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, though, too, because then if you talk about the original Halloween 2, I do like that one more than I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But I do like Rob Zombie's 2 a lot. But I still like the original 2 better than Rob Zombie's at that time. So, yeah.
I think, for people like you, Vinicio, or for me, or all of us here we're all roughly the same age. That's another one. Halloween, I didn't grow up loving that film. And I also binged the entire series when the first set of 4Ks came out.
Yeah.
And the first one does feel kind of muted, like kind of just like slow. Like you're never really getting much.
It is slow.
And every time Michael, like he kind of gets played for a fool every time he interacts with Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Like, and the Rob Zombie, I really like. I know people don't like that Rob Zombie film because they say, oh, it's too grimy, too gritty, blah, blah, blah. But like, I really, really like that. Like I said, if you're going to make it, change it somehow. And he took it and he said, okay, I'm going to show Michael as a child. And I really enjoyed that first half of the film.
I did, yeah.
For me, more than the second half. I loved seeing them take the character and show him as a child. And then when he was institutionalized and escaping, I really, really enjoyed that. It was very entertaining because no one had ever done that before, So I'm with you. I really, really like that film. I'm just not sure, even though I kind of said how I feel like the first one is a bit slow, I'm not sure if I can put it above that OG, but I'm with you on it though.
I think
even the way that he portrayed Halloween that night, man. I mean, the decorations everywhere, the party. I mean, everything just felt so amazingly Halloween when in the original Halloween movie. I mean, I'm sure it had to do with budgetary things, but at the same time, I don't even know if John Carpenter wanted to add those, all those small little details. I mean, in there, I mean, they carved one pumpkin and had the pumpkin out there. It really wasn't a huge decorating, like, oh my gosh, it's Halloween in your face kind of thing, like in Rob Zombie's film. So that's another reason why I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Mockbuster just made a really good comment in the chat. He wishes that Rob Zombie did Texas Chainsaw because that's right up his alley.
That is
Right.
right up his alley, yeah.
And see, what's kind of funny is he almost kind of did when it came to House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, because I kind of feel like there's parts in there that seemed very Texas Chainsaw Massacre than any other thing you could think of. You know, the house out there that looked like the freaking barn. You know, in part 2 when they have that underground lair that's basically at the bottom of House of a Thousand Corpses. There's a lot of little. He kind of took those little things in there because that movie felt highly inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yes, I do agree. If he would have done that himself, the whole movie all the way through, that would have been pretty awesome.
Give Rob Zombie like a Hills Have Eyes reboot or something.
Yeah.
That's right up his alley.
Yeah, that would be
shit. He even had Bill Moseley in it, which Bill Moseley was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. So you can't tell me that wasn't influenced by the Texas Chainsaw Massacres.
Dell, you were saying something with the.
I was just gonna say, well, I'm like Vin. The first half of Rob Zombie's Halloween is awesome. I really love that part. I like the backstory. And a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't like it because they feel like it gave away too much information on Michael. They wanted it to still be a mystery. But I like that opener. I like that backstory. And I do like the way Halloween is portrayed. And then the second half of the movie is where it's really more a remake of the first one. But even that, I thought he did really well. I think the OG Halloween is iconic and it's influential. And that's why people don't want to say that's the remake or something else is better than it. But when I just look movie to movie, I like the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah, I'm opposite from you guys. I'm like, what is being said here right now? I don't believe my ears. But that's because the original Halloween is my third favorite movie of all time. So, of course, I'm going to be way high on it. And I'm opposite.
I was going to offend somebody.
I know. And I'm opposite with what part I prefer. Like, I don't mind the second part, actually, because it is just straight up a remake, but it's more brutal with that Rob Zombie flair. That first half, though, I don't like you were saying, Dell, how people say with getting too much backstory, too much information. To me, I feel it drags, and I'm just like, can we move on? Let's get to like Michael Myers growing up, and
they made
that first half. I'm not.
They made him huge in that film too.
Oh, he made him a monster. It's like, what the? Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That is the hot take for the evening right there.
Sorry.
All right, let's see. Double feature saying, love the OG Halloween. That and Alien are my favorites. I did enjoy Rob Zombie's take on Halloween. Love the backstory of Michael. I appreciate the vision and his take on film. See, I'm not a Rob Zombie person. Like, as a director, I can never really get into his movies. I love his music, though. I'll give him the music. And he was great as a character in Twisted Metal 4. But that's about it for me.
And to be honest, he's hit and miss for me. The Devil's Rejects was okay, but I didn't care for the other movies in the franchise. And he's had a couple others where they were okay. I'd hated Salem. Was it Salem's?
Lords of Salem?
Lords of Salem. I hated that movie. But
how many times have you seen that movie?
I think I've only seen it the once.
So the first time I watched Lords of Salem, I didn't like it either. I was like, what the hell? And then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, shit. I actually really, really like this movie. But 31, I can't stand that movie.
Right.
The Munsters movie, I couldn't stand that movie.
I didn't even watch that one.
I knew that there was a couple other ones. But, and then even 3 from Hell, I didn't like that one either that much. But for me, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, The Halloween, and Lords of Salem was his sweet spots, man, his masterpieces.
What about the Munsters?
No. Visually, it looked really cool, but anything else about it, it was worthless.
I'm just kidding. I've never seen it, but I know it's quite poor.
Yeah, I didn't bother watching it either.
Yeah, me either. After hearing everything, I'm like, nope. Adrian saying Planet of the Apes remake was okay, but the ending. I thought the Planet of the Apes movies were good.
I think he's talking about the Mark Wahlberg one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even remember. I only saw it one time, I think in theaters, and never went back. Let's see. Hisham is saying best superhero movie remake. I can't think of one off the top of my mind. Dell, do you got one?
Superhero remake? A lot of reboots. I don't know if it's straight up remakes other than
the thing is,
maybe
call
Dread.
it a remake. I wonder, like, would you say Man of Steel's a remake of Superman the movie? I don't know if you count that.
I would. I think the closest thing maybe to a remake that I can think of might be The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, because it was so close after
After
Sam
Toby,
Raimi
yeah.
Spider-Man, but even so, that's still a reboot more than a remake.
Huck is saying yes. Visually, the monsters look great. I'm actually a fan of the Tim Burton Planet of the
Yeah,
Apes.
that's the one.
Love the
Yep.
practical makeup effects. All right, Dell. We'll go in order this time.
All right, no
Dell, what do
problem.
we got?
All right, so I'm gonna go back to 1989. There was a director, up and coming director. He did a TV movie. TV movie was called L.A. Takedown, and it was not really successful. It had a nobody cast, and you can find clips of it on YouTube. But 6 years later, this director in '95 took the same script, added Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, and he made Heat.
Look at that.
Awesome heist movie, probably the best heist movie ever made. And it's literally the same script as a TV movie that was pretty much a failure.
Yeah, that's another one. I was trying to do some research, and I was like, "What the heck? He is a remake?"
Yep,
But I didn't know about. I didn't even know that. So,
Same.
Yeah.
I didn't know either until doing
Me
research
either.
for this stream.
Yep. Years ago I saw I learned years ago, and then I saw a clip. It should be still on YouTube, of the diner scene. You know, the scene where De Niro and Pacino are sitting in there having or chatting back and forth. There's a clip of the way it played out in the TV movie, and you can see the difference that acting makes, because the two guys in the TV version, it's like, you know, what the hell are you two guys doing? They're just kind of staring there, eyeballing each other like this. And then you compare it to the clip with De Niro and Pacino. It's just night and day.
Yeah, the acting's so good in that remake. Oh gosh. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just saw it for the first time too when that 4K came out. That was my
Mhm.
first time watching it. I was blown away. I'm like, this is one of my favorite crime dramas of all time now.
Yeah, I haven't even watched this on 4K yet. I've seen the movie several times, but I haven't even watched the 4K yet, so I need to do that.
Yeah, and it's so cheap right now for anybody that wants it. It's what, $7 off of Amazon? It's been there. They're trying to
Yeah,
get rid
something
of it
like
at
that.
this point. You know, you might as well pick it up. And even if you don't care for the 4K transfer, you get the Blu-ray in there anyway. So
somebody else has
It's a
the
deal.
rights to that thing. You're gonna get a second sight 4K box of that thing or something.
Exactly.
Probably.
You're right.
We got Alex in the house. Alex is a member, so shout out to Alex. He is amazing. We got Scottish Geek Guy saying howdy. Howdy, Scottish.
What's up?
All right, hard copy. What we got?
For me, a lot of my picks are horror, just because I feel like horror gets remade the most out of any genre, and I am gonna go with The Ring. We got both of them here. This one, I grew up with this film. This one I discovered later in life. They're both very good. But for me, I'm going to take the Naomi Watts American remake just because I grew up with it. I've got that nostalgia for it. I saw this is another early 2000s horror film. But Samara with the hair over her face, that was my first experience seeing, the classic long white girl with hair over her face. That was my first one with that. So this film does some things different. That's pretty cool. But it didn't do enough to overtake my nostalgia and the fact that I grew up with this film here. And I think that this film does do a better job with some of the imagery that you see on screen. It's a bit more creepy for me, at least. So I'm going to go The Ring.
Yeah, that movie totally creeped me out. I saw it as a kid in theaters, and when the girl's coming out of the TV, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I've never seen the original, though. Yeah,
It's good. It's really good, actually, and the sequel's actually pretty good as well. Same thing with The Grudge, or no, actually, I forgot which one it is. I think The Grudge, the remake, to me is a little bit better. The movie One Missed Call, though, the Japanese version is actually a lot better than the American remake. So that one's pretty cool as well.
Oh, I got to check those films out.
They're actually pretty good, man. They're pretty entertaining.
yeah, that's a total blind spot for me, is like foreign language films. I've seen a few of the main ones, but I really need to dive into a few more. How about you, Dell? Have you seen those?
I've seen The Ring, the American version. I haven't seen Ringu. Or actually, I don't think I've seen One Missed Call either. One I did see that had, or a couple I've seen that have American remakes. like A Tale of Two Sisters has an American remake. I think it was the Uninvited, I think is what it was called, and that was horrible. Dark Water had an American remake. Was it Jennifer Connelly was in that one? I think. I can't remember, but it was.
You told me on it already. What was that one again? You said Jennifer Connelly.
Dark
Water. I'm not sure if it was her. I think it was her.
That one I heard about, but I haven't seen. Is that how do you feel? Is Dark Water good?
I thought it was really, really slow, but it wasn't bad. It was just really slow. And it's probably been 10, 15 years since I've seen it, so I'd probably need to watch it again.
All right. So now we're on to me, right? Okay. I know mine was already brought up. I know, Vinicio, you were mentioning it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It was in my countdown, so I got to show the Invisible Man remake. I mean, come on. This is absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong. I do like, when I saw it for the first time in the collection, I did like the original. Actually, it's probably my favorite out of all the classic monsters. Invisible Man's definitely probably my favorite. But that remake is so good. I mean, the acting is so intense from Elizabeth Moss. She's so good in the movie, all the rest of the supporting cast. But it's just terrifying, like how the Invisible Man does certain things, like when he offs the girl in that like restaurant. You're like, what the heck just happened? And it's such a creepy atmosphere the whole time. You're intrigued. What is actually going on? And then you kind of got it a little bit twisty at the end as well. I won't, spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it, but the atmosphere is perfect in this movie. All the visuals, just when he's breathing outside, oh my gosh. I love this movie. Very rewatchable. But the original is great too. That's one where I can say both are actually quite good. You had that as well, hard copy?
I was going to pull it.
I didn't pull it because I figured somebody would, but I definitely agree that remake is awesome. And honestly, I don't really care that much for the original because I thought the tone was kind of too all over the place. Especially when you compare it to like Frankenstein and Dracula and Wolfman, just thought the tone was just kind of too much all over the place. But
yeah, I was almost going to say that, man. It's like I really, really love the original, but at the same time, the remake versus the original are two different tones. The original's almost more of like an Abbott and Costello kind of, silliness with it. And then that remake, man, was just pure like thriller kind of fucking, shit like that. That was really good, man. That scene you were talking about at the restaurant, I jumped, I was like, oh, whoa!
Yes, I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this 4K disc, I have a pretty good Atmos setup. I'm lucky enough to have a pretty good surround sound setup, and the Atmos track on that is absolutely fantastic. It might be my number one Atmos track out of my whole collection. It has the first scene when the film first opens and you get the shot of the waves hitting that rock face.
Oh yeah.
It fucking blows up your whole system. And then the Invisible Man has all those tiny little cameras all over his body. So there's scenes in the film where you can't see him, but the Atmos mixes it in a way where you'll hear those little flickers of camera in the back left channel. And that's where he's over there, or there's a lot of scenes with heavy rainfall, and it's just amazing. Like that is such a great disc that I feel like that's part of the reason why I love it so much, is the disc is so fantastic.
Yeah, and I loved how they updated the movie for modern audiences. Like you were mentioning the camera stuff, right? To explain the invisibility, to make it make sense for today. So good. Perfection. Perfect way to do a remake.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really love the story too. Like, how they made it about a woman that was abused in a horrible relationship like that. And then he has the power to be invisible and still stalking her. That's horrible, man. That's a pretty brilliant for them to think of that. That's
true. I totally agree.
And they have you kind of second guessing though, too. Like they get into all the lawyer talks and it's like, hey, you get some more information. Was it really him? It has that mystery to it too. I love a good mystery.
Agree.
Huck says, yes, The Ring. Nice pick, Vin. Yep, The Ring is getting a lot of love. And The Ringu. Yeah. Let's see. Adrian, we will get to that question at the end. Double feature. The opening scene in The Ring was great. Yeah. It was terrifying. Yep. Yes, Jennifer Connelly was in the remake. Prefer the original of Dark Water.
I agree with that. Yeah.
See, I like both of these as well. I know a lot of people don't like the remake here of Red Dawn, but I like the remake. I don't mind it. Tiana says, "Hey everyone, wanted to stop by and say hello." Hey Tiana. Mockbuster. Oh, this is another good one I didn't think of. Nightmare Alley is a great remake. Less hokey, better performances. I totally forgot about that one. It is quite good.
I haven't seen Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Not even the remake?
Neither.
Oh,
No.
so good. Guillermo del Toro, like visually, is just very impressive.
What's the name of the actor in that? Bradley Cooper, is it?
Yeah, I think it's Bradley Cooper.
Oh, really?
Who else is in it? It's an all-star cast. I can't believe I'm forgetting. But it kind of plays like two movies too. Like the first half is like carnival stuff, and then the second half is like getting into psychology and clairvoyant stuff. So it's kind of like two movies in one. I prefer the first half, but just visually, I mean, Guillermo del Toro, you know his style. He always brings the visuals. So it's at least a very pretty movie to look at. Oh, and then Rooney Mara is in like the first half. Yes, just watch it for that. That's all I have to say. Let's see. Brian Goes Blue. Hey guys.
What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Brian?
All right, let's get into now. We're on to number 3 here, right? Third remake movie recommendation. All right. Number 3. What do we got?
All right. So I will go with the movie The Blob. It's weird. I've actually heard a lot of people say that they like the original more than this one. And again, I hate to make it sound like I don't like old movies, because I do. But for some reason, the original Blob, man, just really does not do it for me. I don't understand how it was even a part of Criterion, because I don't know how that movie could have been critically acclaimed. I really do not like that movie. This one right here, man, has the goods. Great 80s special effects, fun movie, the bullies, you know, the environment, everything about this movie is just so much fun. Definitely an 80s horror classic right here. I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen the 1950s Blob though.
Okay. Do you have the Criterion?
No, I just have the remake on Scream Factory. I haven't seen the original.
Yeah, man, I didn't like it at all.
See, I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah, I haven't either. I saw the 80s one like in bits and pieces, but I've never sat and watched the whole thing, and I haven't seen the original one at all.
Oh, man, this one right here, the 80s one, is so much fun, man. If you like 80s horror in any way, shape, or form, man, it's so good. The effects are so good. It's so entertaining. That 80s vibe is all around, man. It's amazing.
You're selling me on it. And is that the one that Scream Factory is doing the 4K of?
I think so, yes.
They're releasing the remake one of that?
Right. Yeah.
Ooh. You're getting me enticed with it. I'm like, ooh, I want it.
Really good, man. It's so much fun. It is so much fun.
All right, Dell.
All right, so I'm going to pull a cheat here. I'm going to talk about 2 remakes at the same time. And the reason is...
You're going to steal mine.
I feel like you're going to take mine too. I'm like, I have one of those. Let's see what you pull.
All right, well, in this case, both movies, the original was basically made for like $1.99, and they both have their own charm. You know, they're decent watches, but the remake was given a bigger budget and turned into a musical in both cases.
Never mind.
The first one,
I'm like, not mine.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Love it.
And then the other one was Hairspray. And like I said, both like the originals, I mean, shoestring budgets, and just Roger Corman made the original Little Shop of Horrors and had Jack Nicholson before anybody knew who Jack Nicholson was. And the Hairspray was the original was John Waters. Like I said, both really cheap movies. They have their charm. They're not terrible movies, but these are so much better. If you can stand musicals, I know a lot of people can't stand musicals, but I really like this one. And if you just give me this one, I like to show this off only because it's got a cool slip cover.
Let's look at that. Let's see that. Oh,
that
that
comes
is nice.
off there.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I had no idea until, again, doing research of this, that Little Shop of Horrors was a remake. I love Little Shop of Horrors, man, and I'm not even a huge musical fan, but that's one that gets kind of a pass for me, man. I used to watch that all the time as a kid. I love that movie. I had no idea it was a remake.
Yeah, I knew that because I have it somewhere. It's around here somewhere. But Yeah, it's an interesting watch. If you ever watch it, it's interesting. It's not a terrible movie at all, but you can definitely tell there was some budget problems there.
Yeah, I still need to see those actually all the way through. I think I've only seen bits and parts of them, but I love the Little Shop of Horrors just stage play. That's my favorite just stage production, so I should see the movies for it.
Definitely then.
Hard copy, you seen those? Are you a musical person?
I have seen the one with Rick Moranis. I bought it, and I couldn't even finish it.
Of Little Shop of Horrors?
I'm not a musical guy, and right off the rip, they were just like, and literally, I made it 10 minutes, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't like musicals. The only musical I like is Sweeney Todd, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Sweeney Todd's a good one. See, then you might like the original Little Shop of Horrors then.
All right, yeah. I just don't need all that in my life. I don't need all that music. I don't know.
Next episode of Vin versus Vin, top 5.
You gotta do it, and you gotta be in the musical characters the whole time. Just all right, hard copy. What do you got?
I think that we were both thinking the same thing, Mike, but I'm going to give it to you.
We'll see.
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to take something different. I'm going to take the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, all right.
I think that this is just a fantastic remake. I love the kind of more realistic style to it. The fast zombies. I mean, they flipped the whole thing, honestly. But that opening scene with the family in their house with the daughter that turns zombified and attacks the father, and the Odyssey begins, and then they're locked in the mall, very much like the original. But this one, I feel like, was just much more gritty, and they did a more modern take on Dawn of the Dead. So I like this one more than the 70s original.
Oh yeah.
Benicio's not.
Oh no, you're like no.
I love that remake. Do not get me wrong, but the original is probably my favorite zombie movie ever made. I think the original is a damn masterpiece. But that is a really good remake, but not better than the original, I believe.
Yeah, I need to go and see the original. I haven't seen the original yet, but I love the remake.
I had the original on Blu-ray when it was like super rare and out of print. So I sold it on eBay for like $75. And I haven't gotten it back since.
I think that's one of my only second sides. I have the second side version of that.
Yeah, that remake is so entertaining though. Like just right off the bat, you get into that action and then the car driving and it just.
Oh, you get a zombie baby in there. Come on.
Yeah. Wow. The effects are good in it too. I mean, it has that Zack Snyder, flair to it. Dell, what do you think of them?
All right, so I gotta plug myself because I'm gonna shock people. I've never seen either one. So in October, on Movie Swap in October, KB is gonna be on my channel. He's never seen Candyman. I've never seen Dawn of the Dead, so that's what we're gonna do.
That's a good episode.
That is gonna be an amazing episode. Are you kidding me? Wow.
That's wild. It's like they're so popular too, but we all have those blind spots. Like,
yeah, we do. That's one for me. And it's funny because I grew up during those times when Romero was putting those out, and I just wasn't in the zombie flicks back then. And it took me until probably 28 days later before I kind of got into them. And I know some people say that's not really a zombie flick, but as after that, and that's the Dawn of the Dead is just one I just hadn't really gone back to. Night of the Living Dead, I'm a big fan of though.
And Dell, on that swap episode, are you just talking the originals then, or are you guys gonna see the remakes?
He's gonna see the original Candyman. I'm gonna see the remake Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, nice. They're actually both pretty good. Like the Candyman, even the Candyman remake, I was fine with.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's not even a remake though. It's legit a sequel from
sequel,
the original.
Yeah,
That's true. I mean, that story continues on there, and it's beautiful how much they got from the original and added onto it. I mean, the original guy, that's the baby that was in the freaking fire, at the end that she saved. So I love that movie, man.
I'm with you. I'm a big fan of that one. Yep.
Yeah.
I got to rewatch that one. I bought it on 4K and I watched it, but I honestly don't remember a hell of a lot about that Candyman What was it, 2020, 2019?
I
Something
think
like that.
2020. I think.
That
No,
honestly is a
actually-
great movie to watch. Part one, then that one right after, because all those remakes
look
that
at
they made in the middle don't have any kind of protruity together than like how those ones do.
Yeah.
Did this get a nice Best Buy Steelbook or no?
That I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing one either.
Visually, that movie's amazing, though. I love the visuals in there.
This says 2017.
Oh, wow.
2017?
Oh no,
It
wait.
didn't come out that long ago.
I'm
I
like,
know.
what?
From Get Out, Oscar. They're talking about special features, I think.
But yeah, same.
I'm like,
there it
time
is.
flies. Wow. All right.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so now we're on to hard copy, right?
Me again?
I think so. Are we on to you or are we on to me? Where are we at?
I think we're on to you.
Yeah, you're on
Are
you.
we on to me
Yeah,
now?
we're on you.
Okay. We're on to me. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
But I'm not gonna
2021, by the way,
Yeah.
for the Candyman sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
more
that
sense.
makes more
Yeah.
sense. Okay, I'm not going to pull the one, though, I was thinking about before. I'll save
I'll
that.
pull it next
I'll
time if you
pull
don't.
it. It will pull it then. I got backups. But these are already stacked a certain way, so whatever. But I rewatched this one last night, and I love this remake. And I don't think everybody does. I don't know why, but we'll go with a slasher here with Friday the 13th. I quite love the remake here. Out of all the major slashers that came out, like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, Friday the 13th did it the best. Don't get me wrong. I do like the original, of course. The original is nice, but the original, you don't even have Jason in it. It's Jason's mom, which is fine. It makes sense for the story they were telling. But I love how this remake, well, first of all, you got Jason in it, and Jason's brutal in this movie. He is terrifying. It explains how he can move so fast with the underground tunnels and running in them. I know some people didn't like that. They're like, he doesn't run, but it makes sense. How does he pop up everywhere? He runs in underground tunnels. I never thought that was, a terrible, terrible thing. But I love how they recapture basically the original Friday the 13th just in the first few minutes with the opening credits. So they show Jason's mom. They do the, quickly going through that, fast forwarding through it. And then you get Jason with the bag, reminiscent of Friday the 13th Part 2. And then he does get the hockey mask. So it kind of blends it all together. And it's just a fun story. The kills are brutal in here. Like, the bow and arrow kill. One of my favorite kills in any slasher movie because I wasn't expecting it. But it makes sense. Of course he would use a bow and arrow. Archery at a camp makes perfect sense. Oh, when that happened, I'm like, oh my gosh. But all the kills are great. And then the girl swims under the thing and then, okay, machete, shoot. It's brutal. Like setting at the beginning too, the what's it called? On fire, the sleeping bag on fire, like all the kills. So brutal in that movie. So, and the music's great again. That movie does everything great. Do you guys like that one as well?
I do. It's kind of strange, man. I didn't see that movie until that box set came out, so I had never kind of watched it until then. But if you're putting it head to head with the first one, of course, that one I feel like is more superior than the first one. Maybe even the second one too. But I do like 3, 4, 5. Kind of on from there more than that one. That is a good remake. Very good.
Yeah, I do love that remake. The original just has a special place in my heart, so I can't say that it's better, but that remake is really good for all the reasons you gave. Jason's just straight up brutal in that one. He just goes bananas, and he's easily the most brutal than any other movie in the series.
Yeah, and he's smart in the movie too. Like when they he has the axe in that person's back, and they're like, "Oh no, don't go outside." He's trying to trap you. He's trying to get people out there. It's like you see, he's like a smart slasher too.
Right.
I love that stuff. Yeah, and I felt like nobody talked about it when it came out. I felt like people were like, "Oh, over it." And I would have loved to see them do a continue franchise off of that, like do sequels off of that one. That was a great start.
That would be cool. That would be cool. That would actually been smart.
Worth that doing sequels.
But they never did it.
Yeah, I think that franchise has been so tied up with rights and all that other nonsense, you just can't get it off the ground.
But we're getting a show apparently, right? Isn't a streaming show coming out with it? Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, something got resolved either earlier this year or late last year. Something got resolved with the rights, and so yeah, we're probably gonna get some stuff at some point.
Yeah, last I
think
heard it was a streaming show, right?
Huh.
That's the last thing I heard. I want a movie though. I'd rather have a movie. They're doing shows with everything now. They did a show with Chucky. They're gonna do a show here.
Yeah.
I want movies. Give me more
That
movies.
Chucky show is garbage.
See, I've never seen it, so
Yeah,
I didn't watch it either.
don't worry.
Yeah, I've
heard good things about it though, to be honest, but I haven't watched it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a young boy trying to come out, then it's a good show. But if you're looking for Chucky as a slasher, then it's not. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Very strange.
But yeah, for Mike's pick, I've always advocated for that Friday the 13th remake. Everything you said, he's so hulking. I actually really enjoy the inclusion of some of the explanation behind how he gets around so fast with the underground aspect. I think that's a highly overlooked. And at the end of the day, I'd probably rather watch that one 9 times out of 10 than the original. But the original, look at the budget that was shot on compared to the remake. I mean, you're talking what? It's not even close. And it's almost like you're watching this almost like a really old not shot on video, but just like old low budget piece of art that inspired this amazing franchise, like, so you never even see the mom. It's all that's why it's all point of view kills, so it's a very interesting and unique film that honestly I feel like a lot of people, honestly, if they're being real, haven't even seen, quite frankly. So I have a hard time saying the remake is better, even though I know it's better, because that original just was made on pennies and spawned what it spawned.
Well, and it's a great franchise too. I mean, in terms of comparing it to other slasher franchises, I'd probably put it second behind Scream in terms of just consistency overall. They're all pretty decent.
More consistent because Michael Myers, for me, not consistent.
No.
That whole curse stuff.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh!
No, whatever those middle ones, with the
Thorn,
those things
the
away.
Thorn movies.
No.
Yeah, Vin, if you're saying that though, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually was more of an independent movie than Friday the 13th was. Friday the 13th one actually had a studio behind it helping them make that movie. So yes, it was still low budget, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre was even more low budget and produced completely independently.
Yeah. And then Friday the 13th funny too, because the creators even said like, hey, we got to rip off Halloween, right? Like, how do we do it again? Teenagers, right? Get slasher.
Yeah, that's true. Once Halloween dropped, I mean, not only the big ones, like, the big ones that survived, but if you look at that horror documentary, I think kind of touches on it, In Search of Darkness, it spawned so many slashers.
Yeah.
Hundreds of slashers. Hundreds.
And I mean, just go through the 80s. Everything was either directly inspired by Halloween or they were inspired by Friday the 13th, which was inspired by Halloween.
Because of that, everyone followed that same sequence. There's young girls, and as soon as, XYZ happens, then they get killed off one by one. They all follow the same sequence after that.
All right, let's check into the comments here. Got a lot of them, so we'll catch up. Samantha saying the Blob.
Oh, yeah.
Double says Little Shop of Horrors is a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
And the Blob is a great pick, Samantha. Snyder did a great job with the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I love it. So good. Very entertaining. The Crazies remake is another favorite of mine. You know what? I've never seen The Crazies. That one pretty good?
I've seen the remake. It is good. I haven't seen the original, though.
Yeah, the original's okay. It's not the greatest. It's definitely bottom of the barrel, George A. Romero.
We'll go. I'll spoil it. Here we go.
Oh, okay. There you go.
This was going to be a pick of mine, but since people are talking about it in the chat right now, or however long ago it was, this one is okay. This one is much better for me.
Hey, that's good info to know. So I know. Start with the remake. All right. Let's see. Double says love Nia DaCosta's Candyman, gets a lot of hate. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Zavi did a great steelbook for the new Candyman. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let's see. I don't have my Bloody Valentine remake. I don't have Friday the 13th Part 3. You know what? I've never seen the remake of My Bloody Valentine. Is that worth anything? Is that?
Oh yeah, it's heavy.
Okay. I like the original. Original was
I
pretty
love the original. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as good as the original, but it's pretty good slasher on its own.
Yeah, Mockbuster says, yeah, it's a prequel series done by A24 about a kid Jason. See, kid Jason, I don't know if that makes me want to watch. Right? How much Jason will you actually get in there, right?
And how young a kid? Because I mean, technically he's dead for when was he 12 or so?
Yeah,
and then
like
he's gone until after mom dies.
Yep.
So unless they're gonna retcon everything, he's got to be really, really young.
Yep.
I got some faith in A24 though. If anybody can pull it off.
Yep. I know. Yeah, I'm with A24. Like some of their stuff, I'm like, oh, this is some of my favorite movies of all time. Other stuff, I'm like, what the heck did I just watch?
Well, yeah, because they give like unknown kind of quirky directors a chance. They just give them the freedom to do whatever they want, you know. So it's like you're gonna get some wild stuff.
Oh yeah,
you get something like The Lighthouse. I'm like, what? What's happening?
I was afraid.
See, I didn't even I have never seen. I heard such divisive things, and then it was like 3 hours long, and I'm like, do I see it? Do I not?
I don't even know how I feel about that movie still.
I still haven't even took the time to watch it, man. I haven't. I don't know why.
Because it's 3 hours long.
That's why.
I didn't know that. So yeah, now I don't want to watch it even more.
I know. I'm like, I would have taken a chance. Maybe if it was 2 hours, gone to the theater, I would watch it. But I'm like, 3 hours. I don't know. Heroic Waffles is here. Hello, Heroic Waffles. All right, now we're on to our fourth. Right, we're on our fourth remake movie recommendation. All right, Venencia, what do we got?
All right, so I'm gonna flip it around a little bit. Of course, it's still gonna be horror. But I'm a huge fan of Hammer. So I went with the Hammer version of Phantom of the Opera, which I believe was the next one after the Universal ones. This one here came out in 1962. So I believe the Universal one was, I believe, in the 40s or 50s, something like that. But I've always been a little bit more partial to Hammer opposed from Universal. I feel like they have more hits or more good movies than some of the other ones, but I really love what they did with this movie. Very, very similar, but I love the visuals of it. A lot of the things, just like how with Universal, you could tell it's stages that they built all these sets like that, and it just looks really, really cool. I've always also just loved the story of Phantom of the Opera, and this one I feel like they just did it really, really well, and I do think it's better than the original. Yes,
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Really?
Yeah, they've remade that movie a few times now, haven't they?
A bunch of times.
Yeah,
a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the stage play though.
Yeah, me too. I seen it in San Francisco. Yeah.
I've seen the silent version from the 20s.
Silent one? Yeah. Oh my, silent?
Yeah.
So there's not. Well, they have music though, right? There's music.
Yeah, music. Okay. Music and title cards, and in fact, here it is.
Is that older than the one in the Universal collection?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I didn't even know there was an older one. Yes. Look at that.
Yeah, this is 1925, I think.
Wow. I got to see that.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
That's Lon Chaney.
Wow. Yeah, I thought the Universal one was the first one. I didn't know there was an older one.
That's awesome.
That's wild. So what? They have to have at least 6 or 7 of those movies now.
I think it's more than that.
There's probably more than that, yeah.
It gets remade every decade or so. No.
Pretty much.
But you're saying, Venancio, the Hammer one. The Hammer one.
I like the Hammer one, and then I also like Dario Argento's one, too. I almost pulled that one, but Dario Argento has a version of Phantom of the Opera as well, and I almost pulled that one.
All right, Dell. What do we got?
All right. So there was a undercover cop drama thriller-ish kind of movie that was made across seas, foreign language movie, and Martin Scorsese took it added some character development to it, and he came up with The Departed.
How did I know you were gonna pull that down?
Oh yeah, the original one's called Infernal Affairs, and it's a good movie, and it's actually a trilogy of movies. And he just made The Departed, and like I said, he added a lot of character development that wasn't in Infernal Affairs, and is just an awesome crime movie.
Yeah, I've never seen the originals. Yeah,
I haven't seen the original that either.
It's a good movie, but like it's not as deep, doesn't go as deep as this version does.
Yeah. Just from a Scorsese kind of standpoint, my son actually watched that. My older son, he's 13. He watched The Departed. He said, I want to watch this movie. Cool. I kind of sat here and there with him, but I had watched The Departed like 6 months ago, and I didn't really feel like rewatching it again. Mm-hmm. But for me, that film is actually like on the tail end of Martin's discography.
Okay.
I don't exactly know why, but I remember watching it when I watched it 4 or 5 months ago, and just kind of like, oh, this is good. It's all right. Like, I don't know what something. It's obviously great, but like, it's tough competition when you're talking about Marty. So you could say, oh, that's not good Marty, but it's still great, you know?
Yeah, the tail end of his filmography is, way higher than a lot of guys' best movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's still a fantastic film. But when I'm watching The Departed, I'm thinking about Raging Bull. I'm thinking
Taxi
about
Driver.
Goodfellas, so it's like, this is all right.
the bar is set high. That's for sure.
The performances are great though in The Departed. I mean,
Jack
Nicholson in there. Come on, Leo. It's just
DiCaprio is phenomenal, and he even got a great performance out of Mark Wahlberg.
Mm-hmm. Come on now, Marky Mark does some good things.
I don't hate Marky Mark.
Hey, Marky Mark's growing on me a little bit,
Yeah, I don't hate him, but I think that is his best performance. And Matt Damon's really good, and just the whole cast is just phenomenal. And Jack Nicholson's just kind of doing Jack Nicholson things, and it works.
And is the remake just a remake of the first one in Infernal Affairs, or is it a remake of the whole trilogy?
It combines elements from the other movies, but it's mostly the storyline mostly follows the first movie.
Venancio, you like The Departed?
Never seen either one of them.
Gotta see The Departed. So good. All right, let's go to a hard copy. What do we got?
Well, I touched on it earlier that I was going to bring this one up. I'm not even sure if this is what you were talking about earlier.
It might not be. What do we got?
It might not be, but I am going to go It.
Oh, it's not, but that is a good choice. I didn't even pull that. Great.
Not It Chapter 2. First one. The original was a made-for-TV miniseries. Tim Curry, iconic. It has its place, but again, it's another example of I didn't come across it early enough. When I came across it, I was already fully grown, and it probably doesn't hit the same. I watched this for the first time like not long ago, and this one, again, don't include Chapter 2. I really like what this one does. I think Bill Skarsgård did a great job. And I really enjoyed this first film, especially just the opening scene with the rain. And the opening scene is so fantastic in this film when he first gets sucked into the drain. And I had a lot of fun with this movie. And it might be a simple reasoning of I just didn't see this early enough, but I'll take this if I'm going to watch an It movie. Chapter 2, I cannot stand by, though.
See, I love part 2. I think I'm the only one that likes part 2.
I do too. I like part 2 better than the first one as well.
That's me. But I like both.
I don't like the second part better, but I do like it.
But I will also say you needed a friend like me with you back in the day, Vin, because I seen again it as a kid, man. I remember having the VHS where it was 2 freaking VHSs next to each other, and that movie was just terrifying to me as a kid. And I have a weird fascination with clowns, and that one just did it for me as a kid, man. I absolutely love that miniseries, and I feel like that one is far more superior than this new one.
That's probably the popular opinion, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, really? I feel like people are going with the new one more, man. That movie, I feel like, was so... Everybody was like, forget the miniseries. We're all about this new one. You know, I felt like that's where...
I feel like
we're with part 1 probably, but
yeah, most people I've heard is they like it chapter 1, then the miniseries, and then chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
Dude, when the trailer for part 2 dropped, and it had that scene with the old lady in the back, like crawling around in the back, that was such a good trailer. It was like so good. But then the film, I don't know why I didn't vibe as much. Too much perfect casting though for the adults. Perfect.
Oh, that's great casting.
Yeah, it was good casting. Yeah.
I think I don't like it because it's like Pennywise, this amazing horror icon. All you really have to do to defeat him is just kind of like talk down to him and say that you don't believe in him, and he'll lose all his power.
Kind of reminds me though a little bit of isn't it like with Freddy Krueger, right? Like, you know, they gets power through the belief of fear or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That and it
It's
took
better
a
than
really
rocks,
long
though,
time.
right? Than shooting the rocks.
Yeah. And then chapter 2 took a really long time to get to that point. I think people would have forgave it if it wasn't like 2.5 hours long. If it was like 1:45, I think people would have forgave that a little bit more because it would have been more packed into it.
I agree. Yeah, the middle does get very formulaic and rinse and repeat. But I love the opening. The opening to it chapter 2 to me is terrifying. And to me, it shows like, you know, the stuff the adults are going through is even almost more terrifying than it himself. Like that part I really enjoy. Where it's like, oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, that opening too, when I seen it, I was like, oh man, that's messed up how these dudes are treating those guys. I said, I can't believe in this day and time they're putting this in this movie, actually. I was just like, kind of my mouth to the ground. And I was like, damn, they're going hard on those. That's messed up. You know, and I was like, it's a very trippy opening, especially for at that time, man. It was
very
shocking for me. Yeah, shocking.
Well, that's an iconic part of the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. That's a big part of the book where you know, that crime happens.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they open with that.
Yeah, that's a truth.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Venancio, with the one, you know, as a kid, I couldn't even watch through it. I walked in and my brother and cousin were watching the VHS, and I was terrified when that clown popped up. I'm like, I'm out. I'm gone. But there's some good scenes, though, in that original. Like, I love the scene where it's like, where the graves are digged, right? But one's already filled, and it's like, oh, that one's already taken, though.
Yeah.
That's an awesome scene. The balloons, right? The balloons in the library. That's a great scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then even at the beginning too, when the book, when it flies open and closed, and then they see the picture of Georgie and he winks, and then all the blood starts coming out. I was like, oh man, that is a kid. I was like, that looks so cool.
Oh.
What's your thoughts on that scene when they're in the Chinese restaurant?
Oh yeah, for the
that's a bit CGI heavy.
For the remake, yeah.
Well, on the remake, a lot of it is CGI. Even freaking Pennywise, almost everybody's praising on how great of an actor he is, but it's like, damn, they have so much CGI over him throughout the whole movie that he could fuck up and nobody would even know because they just fix it with CGI. But I did like that. I did like that scene though. I thought it was really cool. I've always thought that scene was pretty interesting because I mean everybody's plate and fortune cookie turns to something different. So it's I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I did like how he did take different forms in the remakes. Like he would transform into those kids' fears and whatnot. Whereas in the original, he's mostly the clown with a few exceptions of turning into the spider at the end and whatnot. So I did like that. Yeah.
That is very true. I did like that aspect as well. I agree.
All right. So we're on
the book. Was the book like that more, Vin?
So I was going to chime in, but I wasn't going to bother. But, the book is so goddamn long.
Yeah.
And I only made it through half the book. And the first half of the book deals with them as children. And that's probably why I connect with the first film more. the second half of the book, which I didn't quite get to, deals with the second half, like what you were getting in It Chapter 2. So that's probably a part of why I really like the first one better. But it's like the children identifying with it in the first movie, and the second film is about the adult, them as adults trying to figure it out. But admittedly, I've only read the first half of the book. It's like a 650-page book. I read the first half and I kind of trailed off, but yeah.
All right. So with my choice, and I know Huck is gonna come at me for this one, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll go with the Star Trek. Yes, the Kelvin timeline. So these were the ones I grew up on. So to me, they were much more action packed and more kind of even, trying to be like Star Wars with a lot more action. Whereas when I went and gone back to the original, I'm like, okay, the original first Star Trek movie, very, very slow. I still like it. It still goes with the exploration, and that's what Star Trek's all about, but very, very slow. Like hardly any action, if any, in there at all. So I love the remake. The remake action pack. Chris Pine's great in the role. So did you guys care for the new Star Trek movies at all? Have you guys seen the originals?
Never seen them.
I've seen them. If you're one, some people don't call the new Star Trek a remake because of the alternate timeline kind of.
I debated about it, but I'm like, no, I feel like it counted. I don't know.
But yeah, if you're comparing that Star Trek, J.J. Abrams Star Trek, to the very first Star Trek movie, oh, it's hands down better because the original one, it's really just Enterprise porn. There's so many shots of the Enterprise that go on forever and ever, and nothing is happening in this movie. It's really like a just never-ending string of wallpapers they just keep putting up. It's like, hey, look at this shot of the Enterprise. Look at that one. Let's check out from this angle. And then there's a little bit of story kind of thrown in between there. It's like, it is excruciating to watch. I just can't stand that movie. But the 2009 one, yeah, a lot more action-packed, a lot more fun movie. And Chris Pine, he's so not good. William Shatner, but he was awesome.
Hard copy. Have you seen the Star Trek movies at all?
No, this is a huge blind spot for me. I have not seen any Star Trek film or TV show. I've got good friends of mine that will stand by the shows, and I trust their opinions, and they say how great it is, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I have not seen anything from this universe. So it'd be interesting, maybe some of you guys that have seen a lot of it, where the hell do I even start?
I would start with the new ones, because if you start with that original first one, I think you'll be bored to tears. Like, I think you'll be like, I'm out.
You will. If you're just going movies and you start with that, I don't know, what is it, 1980, 80, 79, 80 movie, whatever year it was, yeah, you'll be bored to death. The second one after that one, The Wrath of Khan, is really good.
Well, what about the 1990s, was it? Star Trek: The Next Generation?
That's a TV show, yeah. And that was pretty good. The OG series from the 60s was pretty good. And after that, I really haven't watched much of the other TV shows. I've seen the movies, but not really much of the TV shows after that. And I don't know how many of them now.
Oh, there's so many. I think there's like 3 new ones going on at the same time. They got like Picard, they got Discovery, they got Strange World. I don't know. They got so much.
I feel like I missed the boat, and I'm just never gonna.
Yeah, I got a couple cousins that are obsessed with Star Trek, man. And I remember just being a little kid and them watching. I was like, what is this? But being a stubborn, ignorant kid, it just seemed really boring and kind of just stuck in my head and never wanted to venture there for some reason.
Yeah, the new movies, the Kelvin timeline, they inject the action to it. So that's where I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Definitely. I got to check some of them out.
All right, let's check into these comments here. Let's see. Double says, I want to grab the Criterion Infernal Affairs. Heard great things. Yeah, it's not a bad price either when it's on Criterion sale month to get that whole trilogy in there. Let's see. It's a great pick. I'm really impressed with the 2017 version. Yeah. Mockbuster says working at the theater at the time, It 2017 was the must sneak into film from kids. Had to kick out literally hundreds of kids.
That's crazy.
Really old movies. Oh, hey, really old movies. Welcome to the channel. Star Trek is great. I think I'm one of the only people who loves the motion picture. I love the visual effects. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I like the original myself, but I mean, I
you
can
get a
even
lot of
tell,
visual effects, that's for sure.
Star Trek is definitely a blind spot for me. Can never get into it. Yeah. I feel like people are either like more Star Wars or more Star Trek. Usually, people kind of go with one. You guys have at least seen the Star Wars stuff, though, right? The Vins, you guys seen Star Wars, though, at least?
I've seen the original 3, and that's it.
Okay.
I've seen all the films, but none of the spin-off TV shows.
Oh, and I see Mandalorian.
I've seen The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
but that's it.
That's the best one.
Yeah, it was really good, man. Those effects in that show, I've never seen CGI where it literally like, holy shit, that I can't tell if that's real or if that's CGI, but it's like that can't be real, so it has to be CGI. They have like revolutionary CGI in that show. It's unbelievable.
Put a lot of money into that show. And
Yeah.
It shows.
It shows, man.
It
It
shows.
shows. Wow.
All right, now we're getting into our 5th remake movie recommendation. All right, Venencia, what do we got?
All right, so this movie, I thought it was going to get pulled a long time ago. I was going to just use it for my next ones that are honorable mentions, but I'll go ahead and just say it. The Fly. This movie is just way more superior than the original. This is probably one of this is David Cronenberg's best film in my eyes. I'm kind of not the hugest David Cronenberg film guy, but this movie right here is absolutely amazing. I love the whole transformation part of it. I love how Jeff Goldblum gets so obsessed with this and then kind of gets in denial of what's happening and then kind of just goes with it. Just really, really awesome flick right here. I love everything about this movie right here. Really cool.
Oh yeah, there we go. See, and did I even bother to grab it? I'm like, I know somebody's gonna grab it.
I can't believe it took this long.
I think we were all waiting around for somebody else to say it. That's what it was.
But I do like the original as well. But of course, remake. If I'm gonna rewatch one, remake 9 out of 10 times. But the original is not bad either.
Yeah, agreed.
But I will say the third one, just no.
The second one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing that threw me off of that second was they changed it to black and white. And that threw me off. I'm like, wait, they did color on the first and then they switched to black and white? But the story is pretty good.
And I'm with you as far as Cronenberg as well. Like, I have a lot of Cronenberg films and I respect him as a director, but like, I think The Fly is my favorite. And I think I don't vibe with a lot of his stuff, honestly.
Same.
I'm pretty much the same, but I like Videodrome better than The Fly. But
Videodrome's up there.
Yeah,
you know
other
what?
Than those two, yeah, he's kind of hit or miss.
See, I haven't seen enough of the stuff. I think I've only seen The Fly from him.
This one I freaking hated.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
I was gonna buy that one, man, but it's the
Don't
same.
buy it.
Every single time I buy one of his movies, I'm just like disappointed. You know, Shiver, didn't like that one very much. Another one I forgot, I didn't like that one too much. And it's like, man, he almost started feeling like a Jess Franco, even though I know they're on two completely different levels. But every time I get a movie from Jess Franco or from him, I'm just disappointed. So it's like I try to just stop buying their stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even like Scanners. I was like, this is not, after the head exploding scene, it's just kind of downhill from there.
It has that one amazing scene, and that's it.
Yeah, one of his earlier titles too. It might have even been his first title, Shivers.
Yeah.
Vestron Video put it out, and that was another one where I was like, okay, Cronenberg, Vestron Video, and I was just like, God damn.
Yeah. And then Rabid as well. That one's not that great.
See, I'm glad you guys are telling me this because I'm like, should I take a chance and get something else?
Yeah.
If I do, it's Videodrome though, right? That would be the next one I should try out, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are people that love his stuff though, but for me, I don't know why. It's just something about his style or whatever. I don't know what it is, really, to be honest. I've just really never connected with too many of his movies except The Fly.
And a
I
lot
think
of his movies,
Videodrome, in a weird way, made him like this weird cult director. Like
yeah.
Videodrome, people just love it. I like it. It's good. I don't always want to watch it, but it's like Videodrome just like pulled so many people toward him, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I saw that, way back when I was a kid. It was on HBO one night. I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, dude, if you're 11 or 12, that movie will wreck you.
Yes, it was like me. I was at my best friend's house and we just happened to turn it on and we were both looking at each other. What the hell are we watching? And by the end of it, we
Oh
were good.
man,
And yeah, but
that
going back,
shaped you. Then you never be the same if you see Videodrome at 12,
no,
dude.
I was not the same after that. That's for sure. That is for sure. But yeah, I think a lot of people just really like he has a lot of body horror and a lot of good effects with the body horror. And just like, oh, that scene is great or that looks great, but the movie itself, they're just kind of willing to pass just because of those kind of things.
All right, Dell, what do you got?
All right, I'm going with another American remake of a foreign movie, and this one is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was mentioned in the chat, so I definitely go ahead and bring this one up. And it is the original is really good, and this one still surpasses it. And Rooney Mara's performance in it is pretty amazing. I think she was nominated for an Oscar in this, but definitely check this one out. Like I said, the original is really good, and what gets that one kind of over, where I almost didn't pull that one, is actually a full-blown trilogy where we only got the one movie. Well, we got another movie a few years ago that was terrible, but this one was the real winner, and the original trilogy is a whole trilogy that's all really good. So, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I just now noticed your name, and that's pretty awesome. That's hilarious. Dell, the 2023 version. I just noticed that. That's awesome. My bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I still need to see that movie. That's one that I think just went on by me. I haven't seen it.
With you, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, if you like thrillers, this is a pretty good one, and it's kind of a revenge thriller also. So, kind of a revenge deal in there, and its story kind of winds and twists.
What year did that come out?
Ooh, I want to say 2011.
Okay.
And I hate trying to find the date on these things, I swear.
I know. It's so hard.
Yeah, 2011.
Okay,
and David Fincher. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, that's who did it. I was wondering. Yeah. I'm like, I thought it was a popular director. Fincher. Yeah. Okay. I got to check it out then. All right. Hard copy. What do we got?
All right. The Fly was the last one I had on my primaries that I wanted to share. So I'm gonna give you guys a twofer again. I'm gonna show two titles that are in the same genre. I'm not a big Western guy. My father loved Westerns, and he always used to subject me to Westerns, but we're talking old school. We're talking, 50s, 60s, 70s Westerns, 60s probably. But I recently discovered a slew of these newer Western films that I absolutely love and adore, and two of them are straight remakes, and I'm going to give them both a bit of love. We got True Grit and 3:10 to Yuma. Both of these are fantastic films. Jeff Bridges is amazing in True Grit. You got Matt Damon and Josh Brolin there as well. You have Russell Crowe and Christian Bale in 3:10 to Yuma. But I had so much fun with both these films, and I'm not a Western guy, but both of these, yes, they're such amazing movies. I absolutely love them. And while I got you here, I'm gonna give you one more. That was fantastic. Ooh. Another Western, new Western, The Sisters Brothers. This is quite a weird pairing. Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly. They play brothers. Bounty Hunter Brothers, another fantastic new Western film. Like I've discovered like all these new Western films in the past 6 months, and I just like want to tell everybody I know about them. They're so good. But if you haven't seen any of these, two of them are remakes. I don't think this is a remake because this is based off of a book that came out not too long ago. But for remakes, definitely check out these two right here.
Yeah, both of those remakes are fantastic, and I have seen Sisters Brothers too. I'll say I didn't know what to expect going in because of the cast. It was like
so weird, right?
Yeah, what am I getting here? Is this going to be like Blazing Saddles? What is happening?
It's not Blazing Saddles.
It's not, and it's really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen 310 to Yuma and True Grit in the longest times. I've only watched them once, and I think it was in theaters on both of them. But that's when I really wasn't into the Western genre at all. That's like for genres very low on my list. But I need to go and watch more Westerns. I need to see more. So maybe I'll give them rewatches.
Yeah, the newer stuff I can vibe with. Those classic Hollywood old school Westerns. Damn. You got to give me some Adderall or something. Keep me awake.
Yeah, there are some new Westerns I've enjoyed. Like, I mean, if you consider like Hell or High Water Western, I love that.
That's another beautiful one. That's another one that's so good.
It is. Some people even consider No Country for Old Men a Western. That was good.
I'll just watch Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, I've got it. I haven't watched it yet. I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna check it out.
Bro, watch that movie, man. Bone Tomahawk will trip you out. I did not expect what happened.
Does that have a boutique label release, Bone Tomahawk?
So I think mine is like a bare bones one that I have.
I think one might have just recently come out.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Huh.
And yeah, if like Scream Factory ever got the rights to it and did a 4K, I would for sure check it out.
Yeah.
And Vin, if you want another modern Western on Netflix, The Harder They Fall is a really fun one.
Okay, cool. Harder They Fall. I have to remember that one. You know, it's another. What's another one that came out? Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I could not do that.
That one's really slow. That one's really slow.
I couldn't finish that one. I'm just like, I couldn't do it.
I like that one. Not as much as those other ones, but I like Power of the Dog.
Yeah, Harder They Fall is the opposite of that. This is more an action movie than Power of the Dog.
All right, so now we're on to me, and this was the one I was talking about. No one pulled it, so I might as well. It's been remade plenty of times, and this is my favorite remake version. We of course have to go with the giant kaiju monster himself, King Kong, right? So this is my favorite edition. I really like the Peter Jackson one with Jack Black in there. Just the whole cast is great, but I love the production design. I love the look of it. I love when they get to Skull Island. All the natives there are very terrifying. The work they did with Kong in terms of, Andy Serkis doing the motion capture just to make it so lifelike. I love that. I love the ending scene when he's on, the building and the planes coming at him. So, yes, love this one. The only downfall is it's super long, especially if you go with the extended edition in here. Woo, you plan a day around that sucker. But I still like it. Visually very impressive. I mean, and you compare it to like the classic one. I mean, the classic one, you got somebody in a monkey costume, like very slow.
That's nice,
man. Classic one. I mean, I still like it well enough, but it's not one I can rewatch all the time. This one was a slight improvement. I will say the 70s one, right, was better than the classic. Yeah, but the Peter Jackson one still is my my go-to, even over like Kong Skull Island. Like Kong Skull Island's fun, but for King Kong, Peter Jackson one. What do you guys think? What's your favorite King Kong out there?
I agree with you. That one. It took me a while. I think I've only seen it maybe for the first time maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it did take me 2 days to watch it. But by the time I was done, I was like, "Damn, that was actually really, really good." I don't know what the hell took me so long to watch it. It's a really good movie, man. I loved it.
Yeah. And I was so surprised that Jack Black was so good in that, like the stuff he was saying with Beauty and the Beast and all that. Like, he was so good.
Yeah, Peter Jackson's is the best one. but I think Skull Island is the most fun one. That's the one I watch more often, just because that Peter Jackson one is so long. But it is, I mean, it's an awesome movie, and I even like the original too. But yeah, it is a little harder to go back and watch that one after you've seen Peter Jackson's.
Yeah, I agree. Peter Jackson's feels more like an epic. It's like an adventure you're going on. It's, you know, more of an epic film. But I do also really enjoy Kong Skull Island as well.
And the special features were great. On that one where Peter Jackson, he talks about how he loved the King Kong movies, inspired him to get into filmmaking, and so you could see that his love for filmmaking really shines through in how he was trying to put everything together. Oh yeah, and now they modified the Universal tram ride to have that, you know, the 3D stuff there. That's kind of fun.
I still miss the original of that, man.
Oh yeah, the original animatronic, that was really cool. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. That thing looks so cool.
Let's see. Checking into the chat before we get into honorables. Alex is saying Star Trek is like Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, but in space and with the same crew each episode, but every episode is a different adventure. Yeah, Star Trek, it's more like exploration. That's what it is, discovering stuff.
Hey, just jumping in real quick, since we were talking about King Kong. If you guys ever get to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, they have a wax museum there, and outside the wax museum, they've got a huge King Kong climbing a replica of the Empire State Building, and it looks pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Where was that again?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Dude, I'm flying into Myrtle Beach on Thursday.
Oh, cool.
But I think I'm just hitting the airport and then doing a layover. And no. We're flying into Myrtle Beach and then we're taking a rent-a-car to our destination. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm sure you can find pictures of it online, but it looks pretty good.
Alex says, I hope 13 Ghosts is mentioned in someone's list. I didn't even know that was a remake.
Yep.
I didn't either.
That's awesome. Yeah, Huck, Star Trek rules. And Huck, I got to get your opinion. Would you consider it a remake or a sequel, the new ones? Double Feature says Cronenberg is tough. See, I'm glad you guys are telling me before I went and got more Cronenberg. Huck says, I'm the same way. The Fly is the only one I connect with.
I've tried too, because I've talked to so many other horror fans that absolutely love David Cronenberg. So I've tried to give him as many chances as I can. And I mean, I'm not saying he makes bad movies, but for some reason, they're just not my forte. I don't know what it is.
Half of those people that tell you they like him are bullshitting you anyways.
That's possible. I have literally tried. I wanted to say that I like him, but I just don't, you know?
Mockbuster says, I actually like his crime thrillers more, like History of Violence and Eastern Promises.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Double says, great pick, Dell. Love the remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. A goth Rooney Mara does things to me. 310 to Yuma is amazing. Insane action sequences. Mockbuster says Fistful of Dollars is a great remake and a Western. See, I didn't know they had a remake of it. So,
yeah, I didn't know that was a remake either.
Oh, some more Westerns being mentioned there. Huck says, great pick, Mike. I love King Kong. Yep. And we're going to get tons more of King Kong. So, lots of King Kong forever, I'm sure. Fun fact, the original King Kong was, to the point where he owned a film print. Okay, wow. All right, so we're now on
to that comment real quick.
I know. I was like, okay. I guess that's the fact of the day there. There you go, though. That comes up in the trivia. All right, so we got honorable mentions now. Tons of great honorables, I'm sure. Benicio, you want to just run through yours?
Yeah, I got about 4. One of them I do not have. I couldn't find it, man. But I do like, if you're comparing it to the original Puppet Master, I would say that the Puppet Master Littlest Reich is so much more fun. I don't know if it's a better movie, but again, I'm kind of nostalgic to it. I know a lot of people don't. But man, the Puppet Master Littlest Reich, it even still has Barbara Crampton in it, which she was in the original also. But man, it's so hilarious. It's so creative. I love what they did with the story. Lots of pretty cool kills. So I would go with that one. And then this one was just mentioned in the chat also, 13 Ghosts. I do like this one better than the original as well. Next up, somebody said it earlier, but House on Haunted Hill. I do like this one also better than the original. This is a really good one right here. And then last, this one, man, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like it better than the original, but it's a damn good remake because I love the original, and I'm going to go with the Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes remake is really damn good, but I still think I like the original a tad more. So, yes.
Awesome choices.
Yeah, man.
All right, Dell.
All right. So I'm going to start with the comedy. And the Jerry Lewis original, it's not bad. It's okay, but I much rather prefer Eddie Murphy's version of The Nutty Professor.
Yes.
I had that one too. That's a good one.
Man, that was so good when it came out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is one I'm really surprised it never came up. The original had Frank Sinatra and his whole crew, but the remake with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Ocean's 11, awesome movie. And this one, I don't think it's better than the original, but I think it's really close and really good. So I had to mention it. And it's Let Me In, the original, foreign original, Let the Right One In. Is awesome movie. But this is, for me, it's like right there. They're neck and neck together. So I had to mention that one. And finally, actually got a kind of a twofer, because the original, a lot of people don't know it's a remake. It's a remake of a silent movie, and that's The Wizard of Oz. And then in my house, everybody likes the other remake of it, which came after The Wizard of Oz, and that is The Wiz in the 70s. So I had to get those both mentioned.
Good choices as well. Good variety there. Yeah, I didn't know The Wizard of Oz had one before it. I've never seen the original.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, but I do know it's a silent movie. And once the one everybody knows came out, they all forgot about that one. So
it's the same thing with Scarface. I had no idea that Scarface was a remake too, and I would have had it on my list, but I'd never seen the original, so I can't say if it's better than the original. Probably is, but
it's
crazy.
Is, and that's the one I forgot to pull. But yes, I have them both here. But
nice.
it is. This is good. The original is good, but I prefer Pacino though.
Yeah.
All right, hard copy.
So my honorable mentions were taken, so I'm gonna pick two that I think are damn good. Maybe not better than the originals, but first one is Quarantine. This is the remake, the American remake of the Spanish found footage film Wreck. I watched this one first, so I have a special kind of soft spot for it, but they're very, very, very similar. I think they're both fantastic films, but I saw this one first, so I kind of have a soft spot for it. So if you're somebody who loves Wreck and was kind of like, oh, screw Quarantine, give it a try.
Yeah, it's crazy too. That movie's like a year after Wreck too. They're all
yeah.
I haven't seen Wreck, but I did like Quarantine. Yeah.
And the other one is one where if there are any feathers left to be ruffled, they will be here. I think this is a damn good remake. Pet Cemetery, baby.
Ooh, nice.
Now listen to me. Hear me out. I read the book and then immediately watched both films. And I'm going to tell you one thing. This might not be good or better than I'm not saying it's better, but what this film does, a lot of things that are way more true to the novel than the 80s film does. So while this film might not be everybody's favorite, if you're somebody who read the novel, you're going to be able to at least appreciate some things that this film does. So yeah, a little bit of love for this one that everybody kind of likes to dump on.
Vinincio's like, nope on that one.
Yeah, I like the original, but I do like the remake, but I like the original better.
I mean,
I do too. I'm just saying the remake has a place on my shelf, always will.
I own it too. I thought it was just okay, but again, I never read the novel, so and I did grow up with the original Pet Sematary. Man, that was one of them that also terrified me as a kid. So I've always liked that one way more better than that. And I didn't really feel like they changed too much stuff too, besides the fact that the little girl dies instead of little boy. You know, I feel like it was pretty damn similar.
See, that's one where I actually haven't seen the remake, but I've seen the original. I think that's the only time tonight where that's been reversed for me. I like the original. Original is quite good.
Definitely.
All right, you guys had so many good choices. I'm down to the bare bones here, but I think I have a few. Let's see, and I don't know if these are better, but they're still pretty good. So let's go with that with some of these here. So we'll go with Power Rangers. You know what? A lot of people didn't like the new Power Rangers movie. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the costumes were great. I thought there was decent action in it. It was fun. So I thought it was good. I don't know if I would say the original Power Rangers movie was better. You know, I grew up watching that one. So both are good. Both work for what they are. This one I didn't know was a remake till I was looking it up. And apparently Casino Royale is a remake. I didn't know that, but the remake's great, so I'll take it, even though I haven't seen the original. And then also, a lot of lists were saying that they would count this as a remake to Freaky Friday. Freaky?
I love that movie.
I love Freaky.
Wait, they're counting that as a remake? Really?
That's what it said on the Google list I brought up. I'm like, okay, if you're going to count it, I'll take it. Very funny movie. Vince Vaughn's great. Yeah. Horror comedy done quite well.
So fun.
Yeah. And then I know this one I'll get some stuff for. Once again, I'm not saying, you know, the remake's better, but I do think the remake is quite good, and we'll have to go with Jumanji, right? Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, with, you know, compared to Jumanji, the original. Jumanji, the original, of course, is great with Robin Williams. I really like that one and probably prefer it. But for doing a remake, they did something different. They bring it to modern times with a video game instead of a board game, and they take you into Jumanji. And the cast was pretty good in this one, so I had a fun time with this.
Yep, me too. I like both of them, probably equally.
Yeah, I do like both, yeah.
Yeah, and so those were mine. Those were the ones that were left.
Good picks.
Let's see. Check into the chat here, and then we'll get to our final question here, which is going to be pretty fun to see everybody's choice. Huck says, the new Star Treks are a reimaginary, not a sequel, not a reboot. Okay, so then it counts as a remake. I'll take Huck as my Star Trek expert there. Let's see. Alex is saying the opening of Daniel Craig's Casino Royale is in black and white and pays homage to the original. Okay, see, I didn't know that. That's cool. Let's see. Double Feature says The Wiz. And Huck says, no, Mike, I totally agree. The Rock's remake was super fun, funny, and filled with adventure. Yeah, no complaints on it. It was enjoyable. There we go. All right, so our last question here. This one's going to be fun. We'll see, because there's probably going to be some hot takes in here. What movie or movies would you want to see a remake of? Or wouldn't mind at least seeing a remake of? All right, Benicio, what are you thinking on this one?
All right, so hear me out. I've been thinking about this the whole time, and I even thought about who I want to direct it. And we were talking about this director, and so I want to see Rob Zombie remake Silent Night, Deadly Night. I feel like with something like that, it is very, Christmassy, over the top, very extreme in certain parts, and I feel like he would just really, really maximize off that. And I feel like he could do a great version of that movie. And I personally love Silent Night, Deadly Night. Watch it every single Christmas. One of my favorite Christmas horror movie. So I think that would be freaking awesome to see that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that original, so I got to check it out. I think I saw the worst one. What was it? That 3-pack they came out with this year from Vestron? Was it number 3? I think I started with that one. And I'm like, I don't. It kind of scarred me.
The original, man. Original.
What do you guys think of that? You guys think that's a good one to be remade?
I think so. There's a lot of space to make it better, and probably with a bigger budget, and Zombie keep it brutal for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never seen that film, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
anything Rob Zombie, you know, is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Huck says, I love when anyone says, okay, hear me out. And then we got 4K Lowdown in the house. What's up, guys?
What's going on, Dave?
That's a fun pick. Yeah, that's a good one. I was totally not thinking of it. So good call. All right, Dell, what do you got?
Right, so I got to steal Benicio's line. Okay, hear me out.
I feel like we're all gonna say that. Little disclaimer pop up. Okay.
All right. So the original, we're talking of a remake of a remake of a remake in my case. So there was a novel came out in the early 50s, and then they made this movie, The Last Man on Earth, with Vincent Price. Pretty good movie, but it was 50s. It was kind of slow. And so they did it again in the 70s. They made this movie called The Omega Man. It was the same book, based on the same book. Just gave it a 70s update, almost like a blaxploitation kind of deal. But Charlton Heston was the lead. Decent movie, not as good as The Last Man on Earth. Then they redid it again. Later on, they made it I Am Legend, which is actually the name of the book, I Am Legend. And Will Smith stars in it. The problem with this, and the reason why I want to see it remade, is one, the CGI in this movie was god awful the day it was released. It wasn't bad. It's not like I'm just looking back and it's bad. It was bad when it came out, the CGI in this movie. Then second, the biggest problem is that they changed the ending of the book. This movie has the ending of the book. So if they took this ending, put it on this movie with much better CGI, we would have a classic on our hands. So I hope somebody is doing that instead of the sequel that we're getting that's going to retcon and say that they used the end of the book anyway, which is weird. But
yeah, I was going to say that, Dell. I'm like, I thought I heard news on a sequel where they were going to change the ending.
Yeah, because if you own the disc, they have the alternate ending, which is closer to the book. And they're going to claim that that's the end, and that's how we get into I Am Legend 2.
But you're like, no. Remake the whole thing from scratch.
Just remake it. Give me better looking. Well, they're actually technically vampires, but give me better looking vampires, and then give me the better ending.
All right. Yeah. Are you guys down for that? A remake of I didn't even know those were ones. Like I didn't know I Am Legend was a remake of those.
I knew that. I didn't know that those two.
Yeah. Yeah, the one everybody forgets about is the Omega Man one, the Charlton Heston one, because it has completely different name, and that one's it's kind of weird, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah.
All right, hard copy blues.
All right. Well, we've been talking a lot of horror tonight, and I always kind of think some of my favorite directors that I love all their films, they're not necessarily horror focused directors. So what I want to do is I want to pull one of my favorite current working directors in and make them do a horror film. So let's talk The Faculty. Ooh. Classic 90s horror. I want Denis Villeneuve to direct it. Now, if you're not familiar with Denis Villeneuve, he's done sci-fi type films, kind of like Blade Runner 2049 and Dune, but he's also dipped his toes into the alien genre with Arrival. But here's the catch. You take a seasoned, fantastic director like Villeneuve, he can't do this film unless he signs on to have a co-director in Rob Zombie.
Ooh, a little combo right there.
You have The Faculty, that fantastic 90s teen horror slasher. You have a competent, amazing auteur director like Villeneuve, and then you have Rob Zombie as his assistant director in his ear, like, dude, throw some filth. Dude, throw some damage in there. Like, give me that film. Give me that film.
I could see those two guys at each other's throats.
Oh man, they might not make it through the shooting.
That might become a movie in itself.
If they could work together, so you get the mastery of Denis Villeneuve, but then you get a little bit of that horror experience and that filth of Rob Zombie, and then you put it together with the amazing story of a teen alien invasion slasher film, and keep it that at its core, teen alien invasion slasher. Give me that.
Wow. I would have never thought of that in a million years.
No,
that's a wild one. I like it though. Very spicy. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with mine, and once again, You know, don't hate me on this one, people, because I know it's blasphemy to say this trilogy here, but I want a whole new remake trilogy, you know, explain myself, of course. But Back to the Future, let's go. Even though I love the Back to the Future movies, some of my favorite movies of all time, it's perfect for a trilogy. Now, hear me out. We're going to say that, right? Now, hear me out here. This is what I would do. It's perfect because we're playing with different time periods. So we're going to go different places. So the first one, we can go back either 80s or 90s. Perfect nostalgia time to do that. So let's do that. Second one, we'll go into the future again, but farther in the future. And so we're using a whole new group of characters, right? We're not using Marty McFly again. We're going to go with a whole new group. And then let's go the third one. I know the third one went Old West here. Let's do something kind of random and go maybe like Victorian era in Europe or something. I don't know. Or go Renaissance, something like that. Something a little spicy. But do that, right? A whole new trilogy. And now I'm thinking director because you guys got me thinking directors here. Let's go because I want to challenge this director a little more. He plays around with time a lot. Let's go Christopher Nolan. But he's going to be challenged to try to get some comedy in there, right? Because Back to the Future has comedy. Nolan isn't as known for comedy, but he's great with playing with time. So let's play with time, but try to put a little bit more comedy in it. I think it could work. You guys are all quiet, so you're like, "You crazy, Mega Mike, get out of here with that."
No, that's an interesting idea to bring that concept into the 90s and whatnot, and they're traveling back to the 90s, like, you know, that's very cool.
I mean, it's the perfect way to do it because it's like you can do something different with it. Don't rehash the same stuff, you know, don't go back to the 50s again and all that. Do different time periods. I feel like time period stuff you can play around with a lot. So it's perfect to me for a remake. And if they turn out terrible, it's okay. We still have the amazing originals.
Nolan might try to add too much random ass stuff to that to make it more complicated and crazy. Like, oh,
yeah. We don't
you're,
want to
you're in the past, but it's only a dream.
Nolan,
You're dreaming from the future that you're in the past, but really it's the future times 5. Like,
we'll have to pull back Nolan just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit.
Know who I think might be a good fit for that? That you were talking about Star Trek earlier. Maybe J.J. Abrams might be a good fit for something like that.
There we go. That's a good one right there.
Yeah, or imagine Peter Jackson doing that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for more Back to the Future.
Can you imagine
I feel like if it had that spark, like how it had before, that weird comfort feeling of that movie like that, if they could make that happen with a new remake, I feel like it would be pretty cool, man. But it would be it's going to be a hard thing to accomplish, but it could be done. But it just depends if it's done right, you know.
I mean, they have all the updated technology and stuff too, so they could do some cool stuff with it.
But Mike, can you imagine the hate, the vitriol if they announce Back to the Future being reboot by Warner Brothers? People would fucking attack the hell out of it.
Exactly, but that's why you need the right director. If you pick a director that's really on fire, like I said, you know, Nolan, he just had Oppenheimer, right? People are feeling good about him. I think you have to do that. If you get the right talent involved, you know, also some great actors in there, that's how you're going to sell the people on it. Has to be the talent involved. They can buy into that, then I think we can go somewhere with it. But for sure there'll be some hate.
People would be lighting pitchforks.
Yeah, well, even in the chat tonight, somebody said they should never be remade. So.
That's actually funny though, man, because how I was saying earlier too, that I welcome remakes, and I'll, you know, if I like them, I like them. If I don't, I don't. I feel like one people that I don't want to deal with a horror remake though is Blumhouse. If Blumhouse ever announces a horror remake, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I like their original idea stuff, you know, for the more part. But anytime they announce like a remake or a reboot or reimagining of anything, I mean, look at, what was it? Black Christmas, the Halloween movies, all these little things. And that's why I want to be excited for the new Exorcist. But at the same time, it's like, they're the ones backing that, you know? So I was like, oh, I hope it's good, you know?
Yeah, I can only think of The Invisible Man was a good one they did, but
that's right. You are right.
I'm trying to think any other remakes that they've done.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing
Halloween.
comes to oh gosh. Yeah, rough. But the original stuff, like you said, they have good original stuff like Upgrade. I loved Upgrade.
Yeah. Conjuring, Sinister, I believe.
Yeah, those remakes are pretty bad
Yeah.
on the whole. Yeah.
All right, let's run through the last minute comments, and then I'll give everybody a chance to kind of promote whatever they want upcoming on their channels here. Let's see. Huck is saying, I personally think a remake of Killer Clowns with a great budget and pushing the gore and comedy line would be outstanding. I agree.
That's actually
big budget on that.
That's a great idea, Huck. We'll
Yeah,
be on that.
Alex is saying, isn't it? I Am Legend 2 in the works. Yep. Supposedly. With that alternate ending. Let's see. 4K lowdown. There might be. Huck saying Peter Jackson would be better with the humor while blowing us away with a fantasy element. Yeah, Peter Jackson could do it. Peter Jackson's a great director. Yeah, I'll take his stuff. And he's done some interesting stuff too, right? Wasn't he kind of in the more some horror stuff even before his
rough and horror, yeah.
Right, he did the Feebles and all of that.
What is it? Dead Alive, and then what's the other one called? Bad Taste. All splatter films.
Huck says JJ wouldn't know what to do with it. Spock would actually show up in it. Hey, get a cameo in there, I guess. Why not? All right, well, there we go. Well, yeah, let's go around Vinicio. What do we got upcoming?
Yeah, so I personally don't really have too much coming out on my channel right now. Still kind of in the works of getting everything prepared for new content. But I know me and Vin have a new episode. I don't believe we have a date yet, but we are going to be doing the top 5 Steven Spielberg films coming up. So that's the only thing I really have coming soon. So, yeah.
That's my favorite director right there, so that's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that will be a good one, yep.
All right, Dell.
All right, I've got some movie swaps coming in September, and then I'm also going to be doing on Bob's Blu-rays. I'm going to be doing the DVD battles over on. He's going to do DVDs, I believe, next month. So we're going to be doing that too, and I'm going to release part 2 of my movie theater memories. I'm going to release that probably Thursday, maybe Friday, but probably Thursday, and that's a series where I talk about my favorite experiences going to the movie theaters.
Oh, and don't forget this amazing stream that people can watch the replay of right here.
Oh, absolutely. Last night we had a good time with the host here, Mega Mike. We talked about our favorite henchmen last night.
Yeah, that was a super fun stream. That was awesome.
Had a good time.
And then Hard Copy Blues.
Yeah, just kind of echoing what Benicio was saying. Nothing imminently coming on my channel, but early September, 1st or at the latest 2nd week in September, we're going to be dropping Vin versus Vin episode. I believe it's episode 14, top Steven Spielberg films. We have one guest judge already secured in Tim over at Tim Talks Talkies. So we're always looking for more new faces on the channel. So that includes, you guys, tonight, Dell or Mike, if you guys want to join us for sure. If you like Spielberg, send me or Benicio a direct message on Instagram. And I know Huck's been in the chat. I know he's a big Spielberg guy. So Huck, if you'd like to be on Vin versus Vin, send either one of us a message, and we're going to get the last couple of judges locked in hopefully this coming week, and we're going to start to promote that and start to brush up on our Spielberg.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm so down. Like I said, that's my favorite director, so I'll definitely be messaging you guys.
Oh, dang, it might be the Collectors Club.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, for my channel, you guys know me. I'm posting something every day, whether it's a video, whether it's a live stream, whether it's an out-of-theater reaction. The last video yesterday was an Amazon deal video. There were some really good deals out there. So if you want to stock up your collection, save some money, definitely check that one out. And then next live stream will be in a couple weeks, which Hard Copy Blues will be on, right? I believe the Bookworms one where we're talking movies adapted from something, books, theatrical plays, whatever it might be. That's going to be a ton of fun. So very excited for that stream. Yeah, I think that's the 5th, if I remember. Yes. So that'll be a great one. But yeah, once again, just keep tuned to everybody's channel. Everybody's link should be in the description below, audience. So definitely visit everybody, show them some love, hit that subscribe, and then more importantly, watch all their amazing content. Such a ton of variety of different content personalities on here. You're going to get something different from everybody. So it's just going to make your movie watching journey just that much better. So enjoy that, audience. And audience, thank you again for being here tonight, commenting, questions, interacting with us, enjoying the videos, hitting those like buttons. If you didn't do that yet, you joined lit. Hit that like button before you go. But yeah, I think that is what we have here tonight. So thank you all again. Have a great night out there. Go watch a movie.
Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.